Так, друзья, всех приветствую. Меня зовут Артем. Hello, Mitch.
Hey Artem, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
Yeah. Uh, I take a word. I can make a small introduced speech for our participants, and then we can start, if you
Sure,
don't
thank you.
mind. Yeah, thank you. Так, друзья, всем привет. Еще раз, да, меня зовут Артем, я организатор хакатона, и, соответственно, сегодня мы вкатываемся и заходим в нашу первую лекцию. Тема нашей лекции – как создать или сформировать, или придумать, или же найти, как угодно, идеальную бизнес-идею для вашего темплейта, для шаблона, для диэпа. Соответственно, сегодня будет такая базовая, основная информация, в которой мы рассмотрим вообще, что такое этот шаблон, да, что является целью нашего хакатона, что мы разрабатываем, что нам необходимо сделать, как это выглядит. Посмотрим примеры, увидим схематично и по шагам разберем весь процесс разработки. И наши коллеги Хайка и Мич покажут нам вообще, подробно расскажут, что это из себя представляет, как это делается. То есть это, наверное, такая основная информация, которую желательно знать всем командам и всем участникам. Поэтому сейчас прям в течение, давайте еще там 2-3 минут подождем и будем начинать. Я пока вкратце скажу некоторые организационные моменты, которые нам важны сегодня будут. Ну, во-первых, я попрошу поставить всех по возможности ники, как в Telegram, чтобы мы могли определить победителей. Ну, во-первых, зафиксируем всех, кто есть, и скажем, кто победил, наверное, да, там в рандомном розыгрыше точно из тех команд, которые собрались полностью, но, опять же, там нужно понимать, да, кто конкретно из команд сегодня был. Ну и на лучший вопрос обязательно тоже победителя определим, поэтому желательно подписаться никами как в Telegram. Либо можете мне в личку написать свои реальные ники, как вы есть в Telegram. Ну, нереальные в смысле, какие в Telegram стоят. Вот, это первый момент организационный. Далее, все вопросы, которые вы хотите задавать, можете задавать здесь в чате на английском текстом, либо голосом в конце, когда, да, там мы возьмем паузу на вопросы. Это первый момент. И можете писать также в Telegram. Если вам удобнее писать в Telegram, пишите в чат в общий. Мы, соответственно, переведем, если хотите на русском. Пишите на русском, мы перетранслируем и отправим нашим спикерам. Вот рекомендую вам сегодня по максимуму, ребят, вовлекаться и задавать вопросы, потому что, опять же, повторюсь, это фундамент, в общем-то, хакатона. Да, у нас будут потом ежедневные часы поддержки в чате, которые обязательно да, наши коллеги с Forward будут помогать вам и отвечать на все вопросы. Но сегодня в лайв-эфире, наверное, это даже полезнее, поинтереснее будет делать, чтобы потом была еще одна возможность задать вопросы при необходимости. Вот. Наверное, как-то так. По программе, я думаю, что Мич вкратце скажет, сориентирует. Но в целом у нас идет сначала небольшая вводная, потом мы разбираем конкретные кейсы и рассказываем дальше третье по заданию, то есть что вам необходимо сделать. Опять же, все какие-то вопросы мы будем выяснять по ходу и далее в чате. Так что будьте на связи и вовлекайтесь. Вот, наверное, у меня все. Вот. Желаю вам приятного мероприятия, вебинара. Буду здесь для того, чтобы отвечать на вопросы также в Telegram, собачка, Артем, нижнее подчеркивание, Нураев. Тоже пишите в личку. И я предлагаю нам начинать.
Да, пап, привет.
Да, привет. So, Mitch, we can start.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Artem. Really appreciate the introduction, and I'm really excited to be here today with you all. I've been talking to the community and telling them what we're doing with ITMO University. People are really excited to see what's going to come out of this process and what sort of templates you're going to be developing, and we really look forward to that. So this evening's format is going to be myself and Heiko that are going to go through the process in the business creation and ideation and how you can think about it in a lot more detail than what Key touched on Sunday. And what we want to do is to create a forum where you can ask questions. So I'm going to be going through an opening segment, and at the end of it, you'll have a Q&A, a time to ask any questions that you like. And then Heiko is going to go through various sections, various ideas, segments of ideas. And once he's actually gone through that, he'll also allow you an opportunity to ask any questions. And this is the time where you can really dive in and get to understand and think about what you want to create, how you want to create it, whether it's applicable to the market, and what you're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. So we are really excited just to kick off. And maybe just to start with is for me to run through again, what is a forward template? Because that's the foundation of everything that we're doing today. Remember, some of you might be able to create a smart contract, and you might be a developer that's got a lot of skill in actually doing that. The extra step that we're doing is how we can take your skills and deliver them to a marketplace, to a non-technical user. So if we look at what a forward template is, a forward template is a customizable framework that's designed to facilitate. Sorry, guys, can you just mute your... There we go. Thanks. So forward template is a customizable framework that's designed to facilitate the creation of a DApp, or a decentralized application, on blockchains. And what we want to do is to create a no-code interface. Why do we do this? Because it lowers the barrier to entry. So it allows users to take a digital concept and take it and use it in their business place without having to know the technicality of actually building that actual smart contract. And the template is going to offer a range of customizations, which is going to allow them to put their branding, their colors, to upload videos if they want, and to really customize it in a way that would be applicable. When you're thinking about these templates, the one thing to think about is, who am I going to aim this template at? Who's my target audiences? And I'd like to encourage you to remember one thing. When you build a template, you're not building it for one particular business or one particular segment. You're building a template that can be customized by many different businesses, many different segments. So, for example, if we look at the meme coin template, which is in the marketplace, that meme coin could be used by businesses, could be used by communities, by influencers, by students. It could be used by just about anybody if they customize it on their front end for their particular community. And when you think about that, you start thinking about how this can be applicable to a much, much wider market. And remember, that's what we're trying to help you guys understand, and what we're trying to get as an output here is that if you can create a template that is useful to multiple different sectors, then you've got an opportunity of making money from that template being used by different businesses and different industry sectors. That's the idea. The second thing to be thinking about is, what is the use case that I'm building this template for? Like, why am I building it? What do I need to achieve out of it? What are the KPIs? What are the goals? And can the use case be adjusted? So if somebody came in and they wanted to adjust the actual functions in the contract, can that be done? How easy is it to do that? Does it take someone that is super technical? Or is it something that can be applicable to a wider audience? And thirdly is how you'll build it to allow deployers the ability to easily customize it. So on the front end, we've obviously got the builder, which allows you to customize the creative elements, which is great. But the other thing that they can customize is the actual smart contract features and functions. And you need to be thinking about what functions would need to be customized for this particular market segment that I'm aiming at putting that front end in. And are they useful customizations, or are they going to confuse the industry? And then the last thing is very, very important, like, where will it be used? If you create something that is too wide and you don't narrow it down to a particular type of segment, and when I say, no, I'm not talking about a particular business in a segment, I'm talking about a particular industry segment, then sometimes you can get lost, and it's very difficult for you to find a concept, come up with an idea, and create that idea, and then effectively create a template that is applicable to the audience. And sometimes this is the most difficult thing to understand. You guys are all super smart, you developers, you understand what it takes to build a smart contract. what we're trying to teach you here is what you're creating look like to a front-end person that would actually buy it, to a user that would come in and say, I love this template. I want to use it in my business. And they'd pay you money for that. And the process that we go through is going to help you go through this whole development cycle. So what we're going to look at tonight is the ideation and development process. And I hope you can see this, but this actual workflow is where you start off, and you've got access to this Git book, so you can actually go and enlarge it. What we're going to be focusing on this evening is just these 3 green blocks, is how you start. If you've got an idea, great, this is the path you take over here, and you put it into a document which will be shared with you in the Telegram group. And if you don't have an idea, then what do? How do you create an idea? How do you find something that's applicable? And we're going to help you through that process and thinking through that process. So the only thing that I'd like you to think about this evening is, what are you going to do with your idea creation? How are we going to get that to a place where it's validated, where we can help you adjudicate it and say this is applicable to the market, and then to go from there? So we've picked a couple of different categories that we're going to go through, and we feature these template categories as ideas, and Heiko is going to go through them in detail. And just very, very briefly, this is what we're going to be looking at. And remember, at the end of every one of these, there are 5 different segments. At the end of this, there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions and to communicate like that. If you'd like to put the questions into the chat, I'll be monitoring the chat. Please put it in English and not in Russian. Otherwise, Artem, you can translate it for me. There's no problem at all. So we're going to be looking at meme tokens and extensions and what that means. We're going to be looking at betting and gambling, or a lottery system, which can also be built as a meme token extension. We're going to look at prediction markets. We're going to look at DeFi templates, and then additional ideas like high risk, high reward ideas. And I suggest that this section, when Heiko goes through it, is you should only be attempting it if you feel that you can build something that is much, much better than the existing applications that are in the marketplace already, because that's where there's high competition. So what I'd like to do now, before I hand over to Heiko, is just to offer you the opportunity for asking any questions and just letting me know if what I've been through now was clear for you, or if you'd like me to elaborate in any way.
Да, ребят, смотрите, у нас небольшая вводная лекция. Thank you, Mitch. I can take us a word for a small introduction part from myself. So, если у вас сейчас есть какие-то вопросы предварительные, может быть, по этой части, ребят, или потому что было на Opening Day, то можете сейчас задать. Если нет, то поедем дальше. Вы можете задать либо голосом, подключиться, либо написать в чат на английском, либо в телеге пишите, можете как удобно, на русском, на английском. Я переведу, тоже задам вопрос Митчу. So I think we can continue.
Okay, perfect. That's great. I'll just hand over to Heiko. He's going to be going through each of those different template ideas in more detail. Heiko, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Pleasure to be here, and thanks for the intro. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody can see my screen. Mitch, can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool. All good. Okay. Perfect. So I'll jump straight into it. So the first category would be meme token templates. So the idea here is to create a meme token dApp template that is customizable by the end users, which are actually the deployers, using the factory's no-code builder to allow the creation of meme tokens on various blockchains. So the thing here is also to design it for ease of use, and it allows the creators and communities and brands to tap in the viral nature of memes. This template would simplify the process of meme creation, making it accessible to users without technical expertise, while still offering advanced options for those who wish to customize their tokens even further. So that's just a little bit of a description of a meme token template or of a meme token. Then we've added some concepts and terms to take note of while building these meme token templates. So the main thing is to take note of is actual tokenomics. And then within the tokenomics is the total supply to determine the total supply of your meme token. This includes the initial supply at launch and whether there will be a maximum supply cap. Defining a clear supply structure helps manage inflation and scarcity of your meme token. Another thing to think about is distribution mechanics or mechanisms. Plan how your tokens will be distributed, like consider your team allocations, advisors, your developer fund, community rewards, liquidity pools, and any other stakeholders that might be involved. It's also good to be transparent and have a fair distribution model. That's essential to gain your community's trust. Some of the distribution mechanisms include pre-sales, airdrops, liquidity mining, holders of other tokens. Like this would be if somebody is holding another meme token that you are perhaps collaborating with, this allows them to perhaps claim tokens or get tokens because they're holding a specific token already. Some other features or unique features that will also incentivize token holders is like vesting periods, taxation on your meme token, governance, incentives and rewards, burning, liquidity pool, funds creation, like a fund creation for your community or development team, and also staking. I will go in a little bit deeper in these unique features as we go along. So for the meme token, here's some mechanisms and feature ideas and guidelines that you could incorporate as functions or, like I said, features in your smart contract. So a minting mechanism, which allows the creation of new tokens. So that will then be added to the total supply for the specific address when you mint it. This process can also be restricted to certain addresses or roles, so you can implement access control. And also regarding the minting mechanism, usually meme tokens don't have a minting function, but minting functions are also useful if you want to implement specific features, and I'll get to that in a bit. There's also a possibility of adding a burn mechanism, which allows you to burn and reduce the amount of your total meme token supply. So this potentially could increase the value of each token as the demand grows and as more tokens get burned. And this could also be tied to community events or milestones, like adding a gamified element of burning tokens for the community. There's also other burn mechanisms that you can incorporate with a token buyback to automate the process of buying back tokens from the market using the project funds and burning them to reduce supply and potentially increasing the value of that meme token. Another mechanism is also auto liquidity generation, which is automatically adding a portion of transaction fees to the liquidity pool on decentralized exchanges or on DEXs. This can ensure better liquidity, stability, and reduce price volatility. Then there's also a pool and fund creation. Establish a pool within the smart contract that collects a percentage of the fees or other contributions, which could then be allocated to community voted incentives, project ecosystem development, partnerships, or integration with other projects even. There's also a dynamic tax system and fee distribution, where you implement a dynamic tax system where when people sell or buy tokens, you would take a certain percentage of that token, which can then be added to your liquidity pool or even your fund that you created. So the tax can be for buying or selling, or just for transactions, or even for perhaps transferring tokens is also an additional idea that could be added here. Then some other mechanisms such as enhanced security measures like time lock features, time-locked functions, implement functions that can allow, that can only be executed after a certain time period, adding an extra layer of security for critical operations like updates or financial transactions. We also have an emergency stop mechanism where you incorporate a pause function to temporarily halt certain operations within your contract for if a bug or security breach has been found. So then you could reduce the potential damage just by pausing your contract. Also, we can add an elastic supply mechanism, which is like token rebasing. So introduce algorithms for automatically adjusting the token supply based on market conditions or even predefined metrics, aiming to maintain stability and achieve specific economic goals. Then we also have, as our final mechanism, just as an idea, is a bonding curve mechanism. I've also added some competitors here that you could actually go and check out. A bonding curve mechanism is like a game where the price of the ticket goes up every time someone buys one. So imagine you're at a fair where you can buy tickets to ride a carousel. The first few tickets are cheap, but as more and more people buy them, the price of the next ticket increases. You can then decide to sell your ticket back. The price you get depends on how many people want to buy a ticket at the time. It could also be lower if a lot of people are selling, or higher if many people want to buy. In this game, the price is always changing based on how many tickets are being bought and sold. And then we've also added a couple of competitors of the main competitors that you could actually check out and see what features and functions and mechanisms they are incorporating in their meme tokens, and maybe learn something from them, and maybe even add to their functionality. That could also be a good idea. Then we've also added some references to check out. Just a Medium article about actual creating a meme token development, where it explains a little bit about the ERC20 standard and how you can implement certain functions to allow these mechanisms to happen in your contract. Then we also just have another little article here to launch a meme coin and what are all the things involved for people to think of while launching meme tokens. So yeah, that's a little bit of an overview and suggestions of features you can incorporate in your meme token. And if you guys have any questions about this category, please don't hesitate to ask now.
Iko,
Give a
just to
couple of minutes. Yes.
For the participants, the developers, if they want to go through this document in a lot more detail, where can they find it? And obviously they've got access to it, and they'll get access to this video as well to go through. But where would they find this document, this Gitbook?
This document, we will share it in the Telegram group, and we will also link this document in the initial hackathon overview document. So all the information will be able to will be available on the Telegram group as well. I think that's probably the main place to get it.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Да, друзья, напомню, что мы уже выкладывали ссылки на этот файл у нас в чате, в Telegram и в группе, в канале в основном. Так что вы можете смотреть это руководство, там все это есть. Если понадобится перевод, тоже обращайтесь. So, thank you, Heiko. We can continue.
Sure.
Вопросы, друзья, если что, пишите, задавайте. So, yeah, thank you. I just remind that all the questions could be set up in chat or in Telegram group or here. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Perfect. Okay, so moving along, going to token extension templates. So these are in essence ERC20 token extensions, but they can also be used for the meme templates as well. It's also an idea to add additional functionality to a meme token or any ERC token. So the idea is to create a token extension template for end users and deployers to customize through the factory. And this enables the extension of existing tokens with additional functionalities, which can then be deployed on any or on various blockchains. The template should be designed for ease of access, user-friendly, allowing developers, token holders, and projects to enhance the token's capabilities, such as adding staking, voting, governance features. It also democratizes the process of token enhancement by making it accessible to users without deep technical experience, while also providing advanced customization options for more experienced users seeking to tailor their token's functionality precisely. So an idea here to think of is if you deploy your meme token or your ERC20 token, what other dApp template can you build which allows additional functionality for that already deployed ERC20 token or meme token? So some ideas that we have come up with is something like a reward and loyalty points, where it turns the tokens into a system for rewarding customer loyalty, where transactions, purchases, or engagements with the platform or product are rewarded with tokens. This template could be tailored to various business models and include various features for reward redemption. Another mechanism would be token-gated access, where functionally the template would include features allowing creators to define the rules for access control, such as specifying which tokens grant access, the required token amount, and the duration of access granted. So in essence, token-gated access is like having a special key in the form of a digital token that allows you to a private club. If you have the right token, you can access the exclusive content, services, or community that others can't. In that way, you can create private spaces or perks online that only token holders can enjoy. Sorry, I think somebody, there we go. And then another mechanism would be governance and voting to facilitate decentralized decision-making within your token ecosystem, allowing token holders to propose and vote on and implement changes or decisions based on their token holdings. This could range from a simple yes or no vote to a more complex weighted voting mechanism such as quadratic voting, for instance. Then another idea would be NFT interoperability that creates a bridge between these ERC20 tokens and NFTs, allowing tokens to be used for minting, buying, or staking NFTs. This could include mechanisms for NFT fractional ownership or exclusive access to NFT drops for token holders. So interesting idea could be to have your meme token deployed and then have a NFT meme token extension where people could actually go and use that meme token that you've deployed and buy a NFT, a specific NFT with only those meme tokens. And then the NFT, they would buy the NFT through the extension and then actually get that meme NFT or the theme of the meme as an NFT. Another one is also NFTs as membership passes. Holders of a specific token can be given exclusive access, as we actually mentioned earlier. And yeah, I think that's a little bit about the token extension templates. Do you guys perhaps have any questions regarding extension templates or any other ideas, perhaps even that you could share with us or get some thoughts from us? That would also be great.
So yeah, Heiko, we have one question. Is the front end part of the constructor basically a demonstration of functionality, and will users mainly change it? It's in
Yes.
chat. Yeah.
Okay, so regarding the constructor, that needs to be filled in as soon as the contract is deployed. But the functionality and changing the features come more towards the admin panel and adding those functions within your smart contract, but then separating that from the front end, and then let's say the admin panel / back end, where the owner, the deployer of this token extension contract, then has the admin panel to allow certain features to be active or not. And then the front end, you would actually not show all of these features because that is mainly up to the admin panel or the deployer to change the functionality as they see fit. And that's probably the idea to think about of what are good features to implement for the admin panel that can be adjusted so that the front end viewer or user actually has a sort of different use case for this meme token that you have deployed. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I guess so. If there is another questions or re-question, we will see it.
Yeah, just let me know. Maybe give her another minute or two, and then I can move on.
Yeah, I think you can move on.
Okay. Just something also. So regarding about the constructor function. So just something to also think of is you could maybe just have your constructor function add 3 arguments like the name, the ticker, and the total amount, and then have all the additional functions in the admin panel so that you don't need to put all the emphasis just on your constructor function to start or when you deploy. Okay. So moving on to betting, gambling, and lottery templates. And also, again, this could also, in essence, be a type of token extension template where you could incorporate these mechanisms with your meme or ERC20 token. I think there's a nice potential of integrating this also with a meme token, getting people active playing around with the token, because as we all know, it's more about fun and enjoyment than actually anything else. So betting and gambling and lottery template, this would allow users to integrate gaming and chance-based functionality in their tokens, where they can also, again, deploy on various blockchain platforms. The template should also be crafted for simplicity and accessibility, permitting the creators, gamblers, and gaming platforms to infuse their token with lottery draws, perhaps, betting pools, and gambling mechanisms. So in essence, this opens up the world of DeFi or decentralized financed gaming by making these features easy to implement for users at all technical levels, but also offering detailed customization options for those desiring to fine-tune their gaming and betting services. So a couple of ideas that we've come up with here is a peer-to-peer betting platform app, where the concept is a platform that facilitates peer-to-peer betting, allowing users to set their own odds and bet against each other rather than the house. The model provides more flexibility and potentially better odds for users. Some proposed features would be like the dApps for bets, where users can browse open bets or create their own challenges on various events, from sports to even current events. Then some mechanisms to think of. Is it one-to-one betting? Is it one-to-many betting? Or is it many-to-one betting? Then also an additional feature or something to add here is also smart contract escrow that can utilize the smart contract to hold the bet securely until the outcome is determined, ensuring trust and transparency. Then if we move on, there's another one such as a instant win scratch cards, where the concept is a digital version of a classic scratch card game, where users can purchase the scratch cards for a chance to win instant prizes. The game is simple with immediate payouts for the winners. So some proposed feature ideas would be scratch card in various themes, and that's where I'm thinking of the meme token. Having a meme token theme could be interesting, and relating that to a actual scratch card, and also having different price points for scratch cards. So higher price points, higher rewards to win, lower points, lower rewards. So yeah, that could also appeal to a broad audience. Then another thing to think of, and I think this is actually universal between all of these gaming, is a random number generation that ensures fairness with certified RNG systems to determine the outcome of each card. So I think this is quite crucial in all of these betting and lotterying and gambling templates, because as you all know, blockchain is deterministic. So it could always, if you try to devise your own RNG function, there could be a way of miners even extracting and seeing what the next random value would be. So to implement this correctly, you would use a oracle like Chainlink perhaps. Chainlink is probably the biggest, which most of you know, where you would incorporate their RNG contract to actually create this number generation for the randomness. Then we also have slot machines, where it's a concept, so online slot machine game that uses tokens as currency, and then tokens can also win, players can also win token jackpots. The features would be receiving token prizes, progressive jackpots, a portion of each increase the total jackpot available across the network, and then token rewards to say for frequent users coming and playing on your slot machine to actually give them additional rewards and even special rounds of seeing if they could actually win some prizes. Then we also have the decentralized lottery system, where it's a transparent decentralized lottery system using blockchain technology, where participants would purchase tickets with their tokens for a chance to win a large jackpot. Also, again, some features is provably fair draws utilizing blockchain, and the randomness, as we just explained, using something like a Chainlink Oracle service to actually get that RNG generated to use in your contract. There can also be recurring draws, so offer a weekly or monthly draws with a portion of the ticket sales going towards the jackpot. Then I've also added some competitors here. You can check out. Some of these are full casinos, but the idea is to actually see the individual games in these platforms and maybe look to create individual game templates that can be incorporated with any ERC token or any meme token that you've deployed or somebody has already deployed. Any questions regarding this section, perhaps?
No, yeah, we have one.
There are a couple of questions in the chat, but before we go to them, Artem, I just wanted to maybe discuss with Heiko. You know, these sort of betting, lottery, gambling, they're a lot of fun. And when you think about like how would you get viral traction on a template, and you know what would happen ultimately with a user coming in and utilizing this in their community or just amongst a group of friends or a football club or what have you, you can have a lot of fun with this. They can have a very, very simple front end and then have all the features on the back which allow full customization. But it's a simple, easy one to do. And it's amazing. It's really amazing to go through these. So I think we're going to get some great ideas coming out of here, and look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Artem, you can go ahead and ask those questions.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we had two questions, and for one I already answered. And the second one is getting randoms in a smart contract is difficult enough for beginners. It will be interesting to see the solutions of hackathon participants and test them to be safety, if there is gonna be.
Yes, so that's where I would suggest that randomness is using an Oracle service like Chainlink, but as you mentioned, it might be a bit difficult. But I think this is what the hackathon's all about, is about learning and building new things and stepping out of your comfort zone and seeing what's out there. So I think if you could incorporate or build with Chainlink, then your options are unlimited to creating these betting and gambling lottery tokens. Like I said, there are ways to play with functions within the blockchain, within your smart contract, but it's all deterministic. So there might be a chance of a security flaw or somebody actually knowing what the random number is before it actually gets called, if you just have a Solr or just have a function within your smart contract.
Yeah, thanks. Я добавлю от себя, друзья, что да, вот то, что сказал Хайко, и в целом он у нас будет в чате завтра с 7 до 9 по московскому времени на вопросах на поддержке. Если какие-то вопросы остаются или у вас, может быть, уже есть что показать, вы можете, в принципе, каждый день что-то, если у вас в процессе разработки возникают какие-то вопросы, уточнять с конкретными там ссылками, с примерами и уточнять по ходу дела. То есть, грубо говоря, какие-то у вас вопросы появляются, что-то новое, поэтому не стесняйтесь, в чате с 7 до 9 по Москве каждый день уточняйте. And we have another questions. Could you please explain the advantages of a Web3 application compared to a similar Web2 application? In what scenarios would be Web3 be a better choice? In which cases might be advisable not to transition from Web2?
So I think what's good with Web3 is the transparent nature. So with each draw, you could actually prove that the number that you generated was random, and that can be transparently proven on the blockchain, on the explorers. And you could actually show anybody that wants to go and check who had the payout and what the number was at the end of the day. So that all means that you can show that it's provably fair, that you haven't manipulated the outcome of this lottery or betting or gambling dApp that you have created. And I think that's probably the most important things, because of course I think a lot of us have seen some stories about some of the casinos and stuff that manipulate their results to increase their profits. So I think the transparency is the main key here.
I think also in creating a template that ultimately, if it gets used, is going to get good reviews and ratings. And those reviews are going to center possibly around the outcomes that people are getting. So the results they're getting in actually utilizing this, especially when it's shared in communities, people that are participating in these type of lotteries or games can really go a long way to actually help. And that validation in Web3 is amazing, because it is totally transparent, as Heiko said. So that's something to think about as well. Obviously, when you think about Web2 to Web3, you're talking about different levels of education. At this point in time, it might be more of a Web3-based audience that is utilizing these because they understand it, they've got wallets set up, and they can participate. But generally, and I think more and more so as the space matures and time goes on, you're going to find people coming in from Web2. So thinking about Web2 is a good thing. It gives you a much, much wider audience, but you can narrow it down, prove your test case, and then come back and actually revisit a template as the technology evolves, etc., and promote it to different communities. So I'd be thinking about them both, but really with a focus on the Web3, if your question is around designing something for an audience that actually understands it. And that would be very applicable now. And in many parts of the world, these type of templates would be really, really interesting to those markets. The Asian market is a huge betting market. These type of peer-to-peer games, etc., lotteries, etc., are things that are ongoing all the time. And you can give them an opportunity to utilize a template and deploy it in a very simple way. You can capture a big part of that market and have something that could go viral. So that's a good question, and an important thing to be considering when you're thinking about Web3 and designing in Web3.
From Mitch, thanks. I have a question too. From your experience, what is easier to attract Web2 market, Web2 auditories, traditional auditories to this platform like Forward to Web3, or it's easier to attract Web3 and blockchain and crypto market auditorium to these solutions, to these services?
Yeah, it's a good question, Artem. I think the way you need to look at it is how mature is the actual Web3 space at this point in time? Who are the people that you're going to be building a template for, and who are the people that would use it? And we think about friction and people coming in and being able to implement something without finding any resistance. So in my mind, if I think about my group of friends, the people that I hang around with mostly and what have you, if I gave them a blockchain template to deploy and they didn't have a wallet, even though Forward's got a Venly wallet, which is a non-custodial wallet, they might get stuck at a point. So once the Venly and everything's integrated and you can take them through a learning process, then yes, Web2 guys will come in and use it out of interest. But there's still a little bit of a learning gap there. And I think in this particular time in the market, when you're in a bull market and you have lots of people playing around with things like meme tokens, people are making money out of their tokens, out of their bags, and there's interest in the whole space. It's quite easy to deploy something and get some viral traction if it's applicable and can be utilized very, very easily, and it's a lot of fun. And the big thing to focus on here is the fun aspect. So, Artem, I think you'll find less resistance focusing on a Web3 audience. But I have to say, some team might come up with an incredible idea that's very, very simple to implement in a Web2 environment and come up with something and change the whole narrative in the space completely. That's the idea of this hackathon, is that we're going to provide the tools and the guidance to help you think along those lines. And if you come up with something that's incredible and can be utilized with Web3 that nobody else has thought about, I mean, good luck to you, because that's going to make a big impression and capture a big share of the market. So I hope that answers your question. It really is a case of application in the way you think about it and the way you think about what type of audience, what type of user you're going to be bringing in, what sort of friction they're going to be encountering, how you can lower the barrier to entry so it's very, very easy for them to take the next step. That's the key. How easy it is for them to click, upload an image, create a betting pool, etc., as they come through this process. And if it's very easy, you'll find you get traction. And if there's pushback, then you're going to find drop-off. And I imagine in a Web3 audience, you'd find more traction because of the understanding and the education level. But I mean, let's see what comes out. I mean, there could be some amazing Web2 applications.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. We have another question. The purpose of our templates is to leave maximum customization for users, so that the user can fully customize their lottery.
Yeah, correct. Heike, you can run through the customization side and what it would look like. Maybe give them an idea of the flow, what the elements would be, etc., and what a user would be seeing when they actually log into the factory.
Yeah, so with the customization, my opinion or what we would think about is that we want to think about the end user or the target audience and who you are basing this template on. There's no use to have a meme token template with all of the functions or mechanisms that we've discussed earlier with burning and minting and auto liquidity providing, because I feel that would just bloat the smart contract. And if the user is not as technically savvy, they would struggle to understand all of these different types of mechanisms. And now they have all of it in the arsenal. So it's a very steep learning curve, I feel, for them. So it's about looking at the target market, deciding what you think would work, and then maybe implementing a couple of those customization options which you think would work well with your meme token or with your token contract, instead of trying to build one contract that has all the customization options. It's more about defining or going into a niche side of that token or team meme token that you are deploying. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I guess so. Thank you. We have no questions at the moment, so I think we can move on.
Artem, there was one here, I'm not sure if we covered it, where it said, nowhere was it said regarding the solution, is it possible for one team to submit multiple templates, and will this give them extra points? I'll go through at the end what the process is in, picking a template, etc. And the next sort of week is in us helping you come up with a valid idea. The way I would think about answering that question, if I was thinking about it, is I would use this process as a learning process in how to customize and build a template, because once you know it, you can do it over and over and over again. So don't select too many things. Don't make it too complex for yourself. Learn the process in a simple format. Definitely in the ideation stage, submit 2 ideas to us. Let's go through it and talk to you about it. And once that's all done, and we can select something, maybe you have got the capability and the capacity to build 2, but the adjudication is going to be on the most applicable template. And you can actually build the best template, not by building 2, and you can gain the most points just by using your creativity and putting something in place that is applicable to the market and is very, very relevant, easy to use, etc., etc. So I would be thinking about it like that, but certainly in the ideation and creation stage, put all of your ideas together. Let us help you and formulate and come up with something that is applicable and within your scope and reach, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's great advice, I guess. Really sounds good.
I think that's the questions that I can see. Heiko, you can carry on with the next section if you're ready.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Thanks, Mitch. So moving on to our next category would be prediction market templates. So a prediction market template is like a betting game where people guess the outcome of future events, like who will win an election or whether it will rain next week. They put their money on the predictions, and if they're right, they win more money. If they're wrong, they lose what they bet. So it's a way to measure a group. It's a way to measure what a group of people thinks will happen in the future based on where they're willing to put their money. So here I've got a little bit of a different setup because I think this gets into a little bit more into the advanced contract development side, where you would also need oracles to incorporate or to build a template like this, because you would also need off-chain data to be verified. So just some adjustable features and functions that can be included, like the market creation, like functions to allow users to create new prediction markets, specifying the details like the market question, possible outcomes, and market duration. The betting mechanism, adjustable parameters for users to place bets on different outcomes, including the type of bet, like fixed odds or pool betting, minimum and maximum bet sizes, and betting deadlines. You could also have liquidity pool management, so functions for managing liquidity pools, including adding or removing liquidity and setting pool fees to ensure market efficiency and fair returns for liquidity providers. There could also be mechanisms like outcome resolution for determining the winning outcome of a prediction market, which could include the Oracle integration for automated resolution based on external data, or a voting system for community resolution. So as mentioned, you could use the Oracle integration for the automatic resolution, or you could even think about a voting system for a community-driven resolution. Then there's also like a reward distribution, how to automate the calculation and distribution of rewards to users who correctly predicted the outcome. Then we also have participation incentives, which is features to reward users for participating in the market, such as a liquidity provision rewards, participation bonuses, or referral rewards with adjustable rates and conditions. There's also market closure and withdrawals, functions to close the market after the resolution period and allow users to withdraw their winnings or return bets with adjustable withdrawal windows and fees, custom fees and commissions, adjustable settings for platform fees, commissions on winnings, and other charges, allowing for revenue generation while maintaining competitiveness as well. Can also include mechanisms such as access control, which we touched on earlier, options to set up a token-gated access to certain markets, restricting participation based on token ownership or other criteria, market parameter modifications, where you allow functions that can adjust the parameters post-creation, such as extending the market duration or adjusting liquidity pool settings, subject to certain conditions, or even governance mechanisms could be included. There could also be dispute resolution mechanisms for handling disputes over the market outcomes, including adjustable thresholds for triggering a dispute and the process for resolution, like also voting dispute resolutions could also be used. Then Oracle integration, like a flexible integration with various oracles for automated market resolution based on real-world events, with options to select the Oracle service and adjust trust thresholds. And then also coming back and making a full circle with governance and voting functions for market governance, allowing token holders or designated parties to vote on key decisions affecting the platform or specific markets, such as changes to fees or dispute resolutions. Then I've also added some competitors, which you can go and check out what they are doing in their current prediction market dApps actually, and maybe learn a bit of their mechanisms and see what they are doing. And I'm sure most of all of these competitors that I've also mentioned have their code displayed on GitHub and their contracts on GitHub. So that's also a very good place to go and search for additional ideas of how to incorporate this or how to build a prediction market, checking what mechanisms they are using and maybe even thinking of an improvement or how to implement that in a better way. So yes, that is a little bit about the prediction markets. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, we have one question. The user will be able to create their own events in the template, or is this possible to implement?
Sorry, could you maybe just repeat that question again?
Yeah, it's in the chat. If you can read in chat, the last one from George Fortunate.
Let me just open the chat here.
Or I can send you to chat, our personal chat.
Ooh.
A moment.
Yes, I think the regarding your own events, that if you want to implement your own events, then you as the owner, I feel this is my suggestion for your question. If you want to create your own events and have it on your own events, then you as the owner would probably need to take up those events and deciding winners on that, because you would need to get external events. You would need to have an Oracle to verify those events that it has taken place and that the data is correct. But I think there is a way to implement your own events, but it's just, I think, a little bit more or not as easy, or I would say not as easy to show transparency at the end of the day with your event, compared to incorporating an Oracle, which would always have the ease of transparency about your events. But I think there is definitely ideas to play around with in creating your own events.
So
yeah,
Hiko,
we'd love.
can I ask you a question here? Maybe it would clear it up for George. Let's just say George is creating a template, which is a prediction market template, and he wants to leave the template white labeled so that the user coming in can actually select what sort of prediction market they would like to perform against, or allow people to predict against. What would they need, whether it's an API or something like that, to integrate into the contract so that they would have a selection of different prediction markets to utilize? Or is this very specific to a one-off? Because I think that's what he's asking. If he's
Okay.
creating a one-off for sports betting and it's pulling the data from soccer, then it's a prediction market for that particular thing. But if he wanted to predict if it's going to rain next week, then does he need another template, or can the user actually utilize the same template for those two applications?
Yeah, I think that's a good question with the implementation, because with the smart contract, as we'll know, if you deploy the smart contract on the blockchain, it's immutable. So with this prediction market, I would think you would be more specified to creating certain events and pulling off certain data. Like if you say with the weather, predicting the weather, you would need to go and get the weather API and always be able to call that weather API, which would then be difficult to add, like let's say a football or soccer event, except if that is specifically built into the smart contract. So I think it would be a lot more specified on what this prediction market entails if you are using Oracle and calling data off chain. Yeah.
And could that smart contract call different APIs in the same contract? So a basic drop down where a user can select, today I want to predict soccer scores, tomorrow I want to predict the weather.
Yes, so that can be incorporated, but that would then go down to the functionality of the admin panel, where you could actually write a function in your smart contract to change the API where the data is getting called from. So that would be more of a owner's responsibility to change that as the prediction market commences, or as it goes further.
Yeah, thanks. I think it was clear. So we have another questions from Dmitry. Did I understand correctly that UI front-end we are creating is just a draft UI for demonstrating our template, and the end user will almost always need to customize it to their own requirements and needs?
So maybe I could answer this, Dimitri, and then Hiko, you could just chip in. The way to think about this is, if you think about a WordPress template for a website, if you go in and you choose a particular type of template that they want, it can be utilized. So it comes preset, it's got a beautiful front end, it's got pictures, it's got content, text, all these type of things, videos incorporated. But I can come in and I could use it for a real estate business, and Heiko could come in and use it for a sports business. And like Dimitri, you could come in and you could use it for a pizza shop. It doesn't really matter. It's the same template that's customized. So instead of thinking about a draft UI, think about a white labeled template. So the template that you ultimately would have in the marketplace, you might have set it up as a beautiful template for a sports environment, like a sports betting environment. And all of the customization that I see in there, the wording, etc., is possibly all around sport. But the direction from you in the actual text and wording is that it can be customized for any business by changing the videos, the text, the content, etc., and then utilized for something else. So I think the thing that you should be thinking about is what sort of template do I create that could be white labeled by any number of business sectors, or any number of communities, any number of people, because they would want to use it in their particular application. And that gives you a broader audience, a broader end user to have a look at, rather than just creating one.
Yeah, so just adding a bit there, I feel that the idea is the template deployer would at minimum maybe change the links to their social media account or add their own brand identity, so that, as Mitch mentioned, white label, the template should be white labeled so that anybody could add their own brand and identity, and then that can be deployed as their own DApp without having any other without having any of the initial branding on it. So I think there's also a case for people not editing their or customizing their template, but I feel that is a lot less than people wanting to edit or customize their template front end, because they would actually want to go further and market that template that they have deployed with all of their company's information or their business information, links to their socials, even their own logos, and even maybe their own explanation of how to use this.
So I have a question according to this. What detalization should be within the template? It should be really small operation that template approve, or it should be some of I don't know, several operations that combine together.
It could be a bit of both. It depends on who you're aiming at, because I think there is a case also for having a lot of customization in your contract, but there's also a case to be built around having a niche template, just going out with maybe 2 or 3 use cases, but have real good value use cases, instead of having a fully customizable contract and potentially even confusing people. But I feel there's a case for both ways, for having huge amount of customization and niche market templates, which only has a few customization options. It's all about looking at that problem that you are trying to solve with these templates.
Yeah, thanks. Heiko, could you read the next question in the chat from USA? If it's comfortable, or I can read it by myself.
That is, during the hackathon, we should create a template smart contract that will be used by separate entities as ready-made services.
Yes, that is in essence the idea of the template. So the template is customizable. Users would just hop on and customize a few things, add their branding, and then they would deploy. The smart contract would already be with the template. So once they deploy, they have the front end with the smart contract as back end and admin panel to actually adjust these ready-made services. So in the example of a meme coin, a template for creating a meme coin with a specific focus, or a template of a meme or of a template of a contract that can be used to create new meme coins, which is a priority and better. So to be honest, that is also a great idea. A contract or a template that can create other meme tokens. I think that's also a good idea that can be played around with. You'll see one of the competitors I gave at the top was Pump.fun. It's actually on Solana based, but that is where they give the option to create these meme tokens, and then they have a bonding curve for the public to actually buy these meme tokens. And yeah, I think that is something interesting for you to actually go and check out, Pump.fun. But yeah, so I think that is a good idea to maybe think of a meme token template to create more meme tokens. Yep.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I
may have one question.
Sure.
Я могу задать вопрос?
Да, давай, задавай. Ага.
Ага. Hello, everybody. Вот, у меня простой вопрос. Зачем карта в шаблоне? Как вы ее используете? How user experience above maps in use templates? Please use case.
A use case for, sorry, I didn't catch the first. I think my internet broke up here. Could you please repeat the question, or maybe somebody could repeat it?
Да, можешь написать, пожалуйста, текстом. Yeah. How exactly does the marketplace work? Does it support automatic verification of smart contract on Etherscan?
Okay, so that's a very good question. At the moment, we have not implemented that feature yet to auto-verify, but that is a feature that is on our roadmap. So at the moment, when deploying, there you would need to verify your own smart contract on each of the blockchains, because we have all the EVM or 800 plus EVM chains integrated. So you would need to just go and do that on their blockchain explorer.
Oh, good idea. Thanks.
Excuse me?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, good. Any other questions, or should I move along to the next category?
Yeah, I asked to send the question to my personal messages, so I can ask it later. So
Okay.
we can, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. DeFi templates, as you can see, it's a little bit of a short section because there are many, many DeFi dApps out there trying to achieve a lot of things. So the idea here would be for you guys to come up with your own DeFi idea. Things to think of when building this is building a DeFi framework. Who would use it? Why would they use it? Is there competition? What is the competition? And who is the target and user market? So I think this is very open to ideas. I think there was somebody earlier or a Sunday that was talking about liquidity, something about liquidity or creating a DeFi template for liquidity. I can't remember all the details now, but I remember that vaguely. But yeah, we would love to see any of your new or innovative ideas for DeFi templates. Can be anything from enabling lending, borrowing, automated market making, or even complex yield optimization strategies could also be something to look at. Token swaps, I'm just trying to think out loudly here. Token swaps could also be an idea to think about. But yeah, would like to know if you guys have any ideas for this and if we could help.
Можно еще один тогда вопрос задать?
Да, давай, задавай. Может, по-русски я переведу.
What do you mean about security? Вот, and for use case, authority from external services on blockchain.
Okay, so regarding security, what we advise at the moment is to actually use some AI. I've also added that in our other in our hackathon overview, is using some AI Solidity auditors to check for critical bugs or critical security features. I think that's a good first step. Other idea could also be to audit your own contract, but I understand that that comes at a great cost. So that could maybe be after you've seen some reviews of the community and if there's been some uptake on your template. And then other thing to also think about is
you are also open to use contracts that have already been audited. Like if I can mention maybe like something like ThirdWeb, I think has a lot of audited contracts. So you could also use those already audited contracts and build on top of them. If you build on top of them, of course, you would still need your additional security audit. But if you just use that audited contract, you can build the front end for that to create, like, let's say, perhaps a marketplace or airdrop templates. They are also looking to incorporate in our marketplace a filter feature of contracts that have been audited. So if your contract has been audited, your contract will automatically bubble to the top or be featured because it has already been audited by a reputable auditing company. And yeah, the same with the AI audits. We're also looking to integrate some partners for allowing AI auditing, which then will also add that tag to your template so that it can be seen by the community before they deploy.
Thanks. Вот еще один убойный вопрос по HeadShot. Как платформа несет ответственность за операции, которые были совершены на платформе и привели вот к утечке данных, там, к тому, что пользователь пострадал, как насчет страховки? Как можно перевести, да, потому что я...
То есть вопрос именно по юридическому моменту, я понимаю, правильно, да?
Да, продумывался ли механизм, чтобы частично контролировать этот процесс, или все на самотек?
Окей, я задам. Спасибо. The question is about how does the platform bear legal risks? I mean, like some stealing personal data and etc. Who is the responsible person or responsible someone?
Okay. Just Mitch, would you like to chip in here?
Yeah, ultimately the responsibility lies on the person deploying it. So in your template and what have you, to have your disclaimers if it is a DeFi template or something like that is handling funds. And secondly, on the actual developer to make sure that they've got the right audits. As Heiko said, very importantly, what we're going to do is to sift through the contracts and create a feature people can see which contracts have actually been audited. That's the important thing. And obviously, if they have been audited by a certified or a recognized auditor, it's going to have more relevance, etc. The big thing with the templates that you're going to be building ultimately is that the only way your templates are going to gain traction ultimately is if they've got good reviews and good ratings and people are using them. People are referring them. If they are audited, the same way that any other smart contract that you would utilize in the market right now fits into those categories. It needs to be something that is secure. It needs to be something that people use. It needs to be something that's audited. Otherwise, why would you put your money in there anyway? And I think that's part of the process and understanding what the ultimate outcome is for the users. You want to create an environment that's easy for them to use, that's very, very safe, and they feel confident in actually using and recommending your product so that you can actually gain more sales and develop an income out of selling those templates.
Yeah, thank you. And Heiko, I would like to ask you to read the next question because it includes several questions. I think it will be easier if you read this. Yeah, this one.
Okay, how do you see the structure of a lending DeFi protocol? How will the user be able to customize? Is it possible to make it so that the user himself sets a token and he will add the collateral? Yes. So from me, I can't speak too much about the structure of a lending DeFi protocol. That would be potentially using things like the Uniswap contracts or the compound contracts. Implementing that or incorporating them into your smart contract. Then regarding customization, that I think is ultimately up to the developer and what things they would like the person to customize. But it would be possible to make the user himself set the token that they want to set as collateral. That could be a customization option of adding which token to add collateral to. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So I suggest to move on and asking at the end of the webinar.
Okay, so moving on to our last section, which is the additional template ideas. These are the high risk, high rewards ones, because we feel most of these have already found most of the dApps and competitors here have already found a good market fit. But of course, there's always potential to improve on their current platforms by building a new and innovative template for the marketplace. So the first one would be a little bit about a airdrop token, like running your whole airdrop, where the users can. It facilitates the distribution of tokens through airdrops on any platform. This template is engineered for straightforward use, enabling projects, communities, and marketers to efficiently plan and execute airdrop campaigns, disseminating tokens widely to boost adoption and reward their community members. So some features that we've thought of that could be nice to include here, adjustable features and functions that can be included is eligibility criteria, like functions to define and adjust eligibility for the recipients, such as holding a minimum quantity of another token, participating in certain activities, or being part of a specific user group. A distribution amount, adjustable parameters for setting the amount of tokens each eligible recipient will receive, which could be fixed amount, proportional to their holdings, or based on other criteria. Airdrop schedule, perhaps, where features to schedule your airdrop for a specific time, including start and end dates, and to potentially allow for multiple rounds of airdrops. There's also a token allocation, where you can create functions to manage the total amount of tokens allocated for the airdrop, ensuring that the supply is properly distributed according to the plan. They also have some claim mechanisms, mechanism for recipients to claim their tokens, which could include automatic distribution to eligible wallets or manual claim process that the users must initiate. Also blacklist and whitelist addresses, the ability to exclude or include specific addresses manually. So this is something that can be included in your admin panel as well, to manually include certain addresses for the airdrop or even blacklist them. Adjustable lockup periods for projects looking to stabilize their tokens market post-drop. Features to lock the airdrop tokens for a set period before they become transferable. There's also something about gas optimization, like functions to minimum transaction fees for both the distributing entity and the recipient, but this is more based on the smart contract. There can also be snapshots taken, the capability to take a snapshot of token holders at a specific block height, determining eligibility based on the blockchain state at the moment. There's also, like with the snapshot taking, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with OpenZeppelin. So I've seen on their OpenZeppelin contract wizard, I think they have added something like this to take a snapshot of current token holdings of the current token holdings of all the holders and the current amount of tokens that they are currently holding within their ERC, within the ERC smart contract, ERC20 smart contract. So there are some interesting things on OpenZeppelin that you could also check out to incorporate to make things easier, so that you don't need to code your own snapshot taking contract or code these own functions, but you could in essence import them from the OpenZeppelin contract library. Other feature would also be multi-token support, the ability to airdrop multiple types of tokens to users within the same campaign, allowing for complex reward structures. We also have governance and adjustment mechanism for governance token holders or designated parties to vote on changes to the airdrop parameters or rules, allowing the community or project leaders to adapt strategy based on feedback or changing circumstances. Then we also have transparency and reporting tools for generating reports on the airdrop progress, including the number of tokens distributed, remaining tokens, number of participants, and relevant data to ensure transparency. And then something additional here is to anti-Sybil attack measures, is to incorporate measures to prevent abuse by users, so creating multiple accounts to receive more tokens. So a simple thing would be to add unique identifiers or setting a capture up for these challenges. Some of the competitors here for the airdrop would be ZeroLend. Then an additional template ideas would liquidity, mining, and farming. So encourage users to provide liquidity to the decentralized exchange by rewarding them with additional tokens. This template could offer customizable reward structures, including time-based rewards or bonuses for early participants. So the idea of liquidity mining is the process in which a platform or a cryptocurrency platform can earn rewards from depositing or lending their tokens to the platform. So essentially, the users lock up their tokens and to provide liquidity. And by providing liquidity, it's making it easy for other users to buy and sell this token. And in return for them locking up their tokens, they can receive rewards, often in the form of additional tokens. And this practice encourages users to participate and helps ensure that trading remains efficient and fluid on the platform. Another idea would be token vesting, that provides projects the ability to create vesting schedules for their team members, investors, partners, and ensuring that tokens are distributed over time. This template could include customizable cliff periods, vesting durations, and release schedules. So a token vesting is like putting a timer on when you can fully own the use of your tokens. So imagine you're giving a bunch of tokens for your work or investment in a project, but instead of getting them all at once, you receive them gradually over a set period. This method ensures people remain committed to the project's success before they can access all their tokens. Some competitors here would be Saberlear and Team Finance. And then as a last idea would be staking, that enables token holders to stake their tokens directly in the smart contract in exchange for rewards, which could be more token, access to services or governance rights, or even NFTs if you want to go that route. This template could also include customizable lockup periods, reward rates, and penalties for early withdrawals. So staking allows holders to stake their tokens for a period of time to earn rewards that can help reduce the circulating supply and provide holders with additional incentives to support their tokens. So that is the full document of all of our template ideas and the mechanisms of how to incorporate them. These are just ideas for you to think about and play around with. Ultimately, creating these templates are up to you, and incorporating the functions and the features would be up to your ideas. But we just thought it would be nice to explain a little bit more and show certain mechanisms that could be incorporated here. If there are any questions, yeah, please go for it.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Heiko. And there is one question in our chat. I have a general question. Audits are required to the solution for it to be complete. Do you mean static analysis result using Slither and Ethereum, or do you need to provide self-written tests as well?
No, I think using something like Slither can also work, but I think you would still need a little bit of an output of that Slither audit, and that's where to make it easy, we would potentially suggest to use the AI auditors to catch any critical flaws, because I understand there are some flaws that could sneak in while building in these functions, and usually with the AI auditors, they could pick up a lot of the critical functions, but if you go further and devise more interesting functionality and features, having a auditor or auditing company check through it would be a lot more valuable than just having these AI auditors. But also, answering the question, you don't specifically need an audit for the final, for your final product, but we would really, really encourage you to, at minimum, do a AI audit or some type of audit, just to get the feeling of what type of security vulnerabilities are out there, and does your smart contract or your template perhaps have any of these highly or critical vulnerabilities inside of them? So the AI audit would be able to help with that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your answer. So we have no question at the moment in our chat and our Zoom chat also. So I think we can move on to the final part.
Sure. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for giving me the time to explain here, and I'll hand it over to Mitch to explain a bit more of the submissions and what is coming next.
Great. Thanks, Heiko. Really appreciate that. Well done. It was quite clear going through it, and everybody will have the opportunity to go through the Git book and then just to finalize and see what needs to get done. So what I'm going to do here is just run through the final task assignments for this particular week. Just make sure you guys can see my screen. Heiko, can you see the screen? Artem?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So these are very, very basic steps of what needs to be done. And the first thing is to set up a business idea document. And that allows you to put the ideas down that we can help you with and adjudicate. So the first task draft submission, which is the business idea, is due by the 19th of April, which is later on this week. And the first task final deadline for the business idea is by the 22nd of April. And we're going to guide you through it. There will be some office hours during this time for you to come in and ask any questions if you get stuck, if you've got an idea that you think might be good and you just want some feedback on it. And please, the format that you should be putting it in is in a Google Doc, so we can give you comments and feedback, and it can be really interactive, and we can get that back to you. The evaluation criteria that we'll use, and this is for something for you to think about in how you approach it, is with your problem identification, you need to identify a significant problem or market need and then demonstrate how your project addresses this need effectively. So the evaluation criteria of how sustainable is it? Is it something that's going to be applicable long term? Is it short term? And then we also evaluate the potential market size and the solution's ability to capture and retain a significant market share. And that is not just really for this process in the adjudication and the prizes and what have you, but if you come up with something that is really...
Друзья, мы сейчас решаем технические...
But this task assignment document, if you don't hear everything, no problem, we're going to share it.
Yeah, I think there is no problem because we will share this document with the participants and we'll guide them through it. To
creating the idea, and we look forward to your feedback. So if anybody's got any questions now, please feel free to ask them.
Sorry, could I just maybe jump in here also? Just to add, we are also busy with a document to show you an example of how to set up the business idea process, and I think we'll be sharing that soon, by tomorrow at the latest. Just showing you how to set up the Google Doc and actually explaining your solution, explaining a bit of defining the problem statement, explain the possible use cases and examples, the competitors, why you need this template, and then why would this use a decentralized solution, and then also explaining a little bit more about the submission and the GitHub repository. So we'll finalize that document and send it to you guys by tomorrow.
Yeah, it sounds good. Thanks. So if someone had any questions, please feel free to ask. So yeah, thanks to everybody, and I want to thank our speakers today. Thanks for Heiko, thanks for Mitch. I think it was really useful and interesting. We will post a description of the task and all requirements for the AIM solution in our chat and in our channel today, maybe tomorrow in the morning. So also I want to remind that all the speakers, Mitch and Heiko, will be online in our chat tomorrow and all the days until Friday from 19 to 21 evening on Moscow time. So you can feel free to ask them in our Telegram chat any questions that you have after this webinar and overall general questions. So feel free to ask. So I think that's all. The first deadline, I'll remind, it's 19th of April. And after that, you can get the feedback from Mitch and Heiko, and we'll continue to develop your idea until the Monday, where will be the final deadline. So I think that's all. And one more question from George. Can we make multiple pages of the site, or just a page for user and admin?
You can make multiple pages, as many as you want. If it fits into your template, then that's perfect. So you can have some rich functionality additions as well, yes.
Yep, thank you. So, Heiko and Mitch, maybe you want to say something to the end?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for giving us an opportunity to present this, and I hope everybody's excited as us to get started. And have a good evening.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Artem. Thanks to everybody. Really appreciate you being here, and look forward to connecting with you in the Telegram chat in the week.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Bye.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Artem. Cheers.